Please welcome George Karl.
Okay. That's probably good. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, and I was kind of interested because I usually wake up early. But 5 o'clock is a little bit too early because I didn't know which my opponent was worse, speaking here or San Antonio Spurs tonight. But yeah, I don't think I've ever spoken at a group this large, and I'm just here as an amateur sociologist and psychologist and amateur person who's gone through 2 cancer care situations. And I'm excited about the challenge that I think is in your hands. Probably a lot of people in this room have a lot of ability to direct a lot of people here in the Denver area and Colorado in bringing the healthcare craziness under control and directed in a very positive way. Now, I'm up at 5 o'clock, about 5:15, and I'm trying to figure out what should I do first. Study up on what I'm going to say to you all, or write about Tony Parker and Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich and what they're going to do to me later on tonight. So I don't know if I've accomplished either way. I just got done with shoot-around with the team, and we had a pretty good shoot-around, and I think we're going to win. If I was a betting man, I'd bet that we were going to win tonight. But we've only won 20 in a row. So. But, you know, I think the one thing that I come to these events, and as I've had the opportunity to spend time with Dr. Hill, and a lot of people. I've spent people with CEOs of hospitals. I think I'm be 4 years out. In fact, it might be this week. I'm 4 years out of finishing my treatment for head and neck cancer. In fact, today might be my anniversary. I forget, but I've gotten engaged about cancer, and a long time ago, most of my charitable events, I wanted to take care of kids, and I did anything for kids, and anything for Children's Hospital, or anything for children's diseases. But now my ambassadorship or my advocacy is towards trying to figure out how we can figure out how to get healthier and also to wipe out cancer in my lifetime. And I know that's a challenge, because when I used to say that to American Cancer Society doctors in dinners like this, I'd have people come up to me and whisper to me and says, you understand, there are a lot of people in this room that don't want to find a cure for cancer. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, there are people, it's a $200 billion business, and there are people out here that want to find treatments for cancer and want to get better in cancer. And it never made any sense to me until I went through my second case of cancer. When I had radiation treatment and chemotherapy and two visits to the intensive care unit for blood clots, and saw my bill after about 3 or 4 months of treatment, the bill was $486,000. And I realized that it is a business. And the business, I think, has gotten out of control. I think the business has gotten crazy. Again, I'm an amateur. I'm not an expert like Dr. Hill, and I'm sure there are many other people out here that have much more knowledgeable of the stats and the facts. But the people I've talked to, from the patients to the doctors, to the insurance companies, to the pharmaceutical people, and just the hospitals, hanging out in hospitals, no one is very happy about the system. And it's kind of wild and crazy. Here's $200 billion. No one's happy. It sounds like an NBA basketball team. You know? Because I'm the only guy in the world that coaches a bunch of guys that is 23, 24 years old. And they average, our average salary is probably $6 million a year. That's more than I make. So I'm the boss. They make 23-year-old kids make more money than I make. And their egos are out of control. Their attitudes have to be adjusted on a weekly basis and sometimes on a daily basis. And somewhere along the way, I feel like sometimes this is the same thing that happens in the industry of finding health. First of all, healthcare, I think, is a bad word, because I don't think we're in the healthcare business. I think we're in a situation that we are in the business of fixing what goes wrong with our bodies. And that's not healthcare. Healthcare is become healthy and stay healthy and figure out how to be healthy the rest of your life. So I want to introduce a little video that I befriended the producer of the movie Escape Fired. And he said it in a movie that was just on CNN just recently about the healthcare system in America. It's a great documentary. I highly recommend it. And I'm not sure, for me, it gave me a lot of enthusiasm, to be honest with you, because it brings the facts out, but it doesn't bring it out where it smacks you in the face. You know, it's my desire today to be a catalyst to you all, to motivate yourself to find the powerful partners that you have to find. And I think you can find. I mean, the gentleman that spoke just before me, very interesting man. I don't know who he is, but it sounded cool. You know, I coach 100 days a year where win-lose is the most important thing. And if you take it too seriously and you're too demanding and derogatory, you got to bring fun, you got to bring laughter to tough emotional win-lose competition. I'm in a crazy world. I get paid to win-lose, but you all are in the world of healthcare. And I think, you know what, I'm here to say to you all, get excited about the problem we have. I mean, I'm 61 years old, and I've loved America for so much because of its desire to recognize what's wrong and fix it. And it's the first time, I think, since I've been in America, in the last maybe 5-10 years, that it seems like America's a little scared about the problems that we have, a little worried about the problems that we have. And I'm going to tell you, I know talent. America is, I've lived in Spain. I've lived out of this country. We're still the greatest country in the world. But we got to understand that we do have a problem and then put our mind to it and fix it as fast and quickly as possible. And so much as it's exciting to me is because it's about taking care of your bodies, taking care of your kids, teaching them to learn how to be healthier at an early age. And you know, we've done civil rights, we've done women's rights, we have the internet now. You know, but the thing that's happened since I've been, and I'll give you my amateur sociologist read, is capitalism is taken over for compassion. Money and success is taken over for love and family. We are out of control on money. We're out of control on protecting the territories that we make money in. You know, I just think, you know, we live in a country that we got to work as a basketball team. We got to come together and be a team and help each other make it figure it out. And I don't think it's that different. I mean, you know, like coaching basketball, everyone says, well, you must be really smart, and you know, how do you do it? How do you? I don't think coaching basketball is that hard. You know, it's about passion. It's about, you know, yeah, there's some fundamentals of teaching what you believe and teaching your philosophy and energizing it and believing in it. But, you know, people want, well, you know, they want us, we lost Gallo to an injury and Ty Lawson might not play, you know, well, and everybody thinks I have the answer. I have the information, but I'm not sure I have the answer. And I'm excited about my challenge. And I think that's who you are right now. You have a difficult challenge. You know, but in the same sense, you have the information, you have the knowledge, and now you got to figure out, how do I talk my company into backing this? How do I find the right insurance company to support this? How do you figure out to get the employees to jump in and be a part of it and energize themselves to be healthy? You know, it took, I have a college degree. I think I'm a smart guy, but it took 2 cancer situations and scares to wake me up about what I eat. And nutrition is huge in our country today. I mean, and I don't know how that's the one area of our problem that I'm scared about, because the food industry has control of the food. And unless we change that, and we're talking a $1 trillion industry that has a lot of control over what we are eating. And I know the cancer societies, and I'm sure Dr. Hill would back this up, that I believe it's more than this, but most people think 30% of our cancers today can be prevented by what we eat and how we exercise. That's it, 30%. I think it's closer to 50%, but 30% is what everybody is saying. And I'm sure this is similar to some other diseases like diabetes and whatever, heart disease, strokes, I think it's similar in that capacity. And why our country can't wake up to this, I'm just as bad as you, the people that aren't waking up, because it took me 2 cancers to wake up that what I put in my body has got to change. And I'm not a health freak. I mean, I go out and drink beers. I go out and have bad meals. But I do try to put in things in my body every day, starting in the morning and the afternoon. And I have some rules that I try to follow, and they're not that difficult. You know, the one thing I do in the morning, I just learned about 3 months ago. Someone told me to drink 50 ounces of water first thing in the morning. I do that, and I'm amazed how it makes my body feel. Amazed. I mean, I don't know, there's a book on it. The person that recommended it, the book is, You're Not Sick, You're Just Thirsty. And it basically describes how this man was in, I think, an Iranian prison camp, and he was treating, he was a doctor. He was in an Iranian prison camp, and he treated a lot of people who were sick in the prison by making them drink a lot of water, and had a lot of success by it. And basically, it's a theory that your body is dehydrated. All of our bodies are dehydrated. And just drinking water. You know, I take 50 pills a day in the morning, so I drink a big 25 ounces in the morning and 25 ounces when I take my vitamins, and I'm cool. I start off the day. But there's all types of reasons why drinking water is important. Like 3 months ago, I didn't have that into my regimen. I have that in my regimen. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the environment. Everybody wants to go green, but we don't know how to do it. But I think we will learn how to do it when we realize that we got to save our planet along the way. But that's a different subject. I'll speak to the environmental people in a couple weeks. But Escape Fire, I hope you go watch it, because it says a lot of things that I believe. And again, I don't want to be a sarcastic guy or a critical person of the insurance business or the healthcare business or the hospital business or University of Colorado. I think we have brilliant people. I mean, I've met so many fantastic doctors that scares. I think we're in great hands. My desire and my passion is not to go into research. I think we have enough people who want to cure cancer. We have enough people who want to figure out how to be great doctors. And I think we'll always have that. How we spend the money to get them motivated to do the right, to spend maybe, to coach them the right way, to direct them the right way. Too much of our money is spent on people being sick. Not enough of our money is spent on preventing them getting to be sick. We got to change it. It can't be 90%, 10%. It's got to be balanced. You know, it's like me coaching Mello. It drove me crazy. Because we won games, but it didn't make anybody happy. Now I got a basketball team, it's fun to coach because they're balanced. It's a balanced crew. You got some good young guys, you got some old guys like Andre Miller, who I have no idea how he plays at 38 years of age, but he's great. And we got some big guys that don't get any publicity, and they play hard every night. Kenneth Farid is tremendous. His ego and his attitude is tremendously for us. But I think a lot of, I compare, as you can see, I compare a lot of what happens in life to basketball. Hope that's okay, because that's kind of what I live in. But I'm not into research. I think we have a lot of people that want to figure out the problems that we have. But we got to figure out the game plan. We got to figure out the strategy of how to prevent health, prevent people from getting sick. And we got to educate people on what they need to do to stop themselves from getting sick. I mean, we had sex education. Remember when in the 70s for the older people in here? Remember the big argument about having sex education in schools? And everybody said, oh, you can't have sex education. Well, why can't we have health? We had health, and that took over from sex, but we forgot about the health. Now, sex is good, but health is good too. But we got to, if I knew what I know about the immune system today, I would not have ever gone to McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's anymore. I do eat a French fry once in a while, but not very often. And all I do is I put vegetables and fruit in my body on a consistent basis. Every day, I get my 8 servings of vegetables and fruit. I do that by juicing. I do that by green drinking. I do that by eating salads. And usually in my night meal, I'm allowed to eat anything I want. Now, I don't go crazy and do stupid things. But I still go out and have a piece of fish with some sauce on it that probably shouldn't be in my diet. But we got to teach our young people what they eat is going to determine how their health will probably become. And then, wellness is, I think, off the map. I think it's fantastic, some of the things that's going on. But we got to motivate our society that exercise is the greatest relief to stress. So if we're going to be a capitalistic country and we're all going to be motivated by outworking people and out fighting people and trying to make more money than everybody else, stress has got to be balanced by exercise. Or you can try meditation. Or you can try gardening in your backyard. Or you can try giving back to society by taking care of kids or going to the hospitals or walking the dogs for your neighbors, all that. Because three things that have been proven that releases stress is meditation, gardening, and compassion to your human beings in your lifetime, in your life. Those things have been proven. I don't know how they prove them, Doc. You might have to explain to them how they prove them. Now, everybody says, come on, George, do you meditate? Well, I don't meditate like the Buddhist guys want to meditate. I'm not a yoga guy. I can't bend. My knees don't work. But I do take 15 to 30 minutes every day to try to take away and forget about my life. And, I do it by listening to music. Sometimes I do it by breathing. Sometimes I do it by taking long walks. But my life is crazy, man. I mean, we're having the best year in Denver Nugget career, and I'm scared to death about tonight's game. I'm nervous as hell. Why? Because we got to win 4 out of 5 to get third place. I mean, we still, our job isn't done, even though we've done a great job up until this point. And it seems like, that's the world of success. Once you do good, guess what? Next year, they want you to do better. Next year after that, they want you to do better. And that's not only in my business, that's in your business too. You're a good salesperson, you have a great sales year. Guess what? They don't want you to go down. It's not the American way to go down. The American way is to go up. And so moving forward and being energized about your challenges, you got to bring some balance to your life. I mean, if you want to be American, which most of us are, I'll tell you a story real quick and release the stress of my intensity here a little bit. I lived in Spain for 2 years. And I always talk to Spanish people about why they drink too much and they kill each other. They have the Catalans blowing up the Basque and the Basque blowing up the Medistas. And there's always these people. And they always said to me, the Americans, you complain about us, but you guys work too hard. In Spain, we work to live. In America, you live to work. And it hit me when that person told me that about 15 years ago. We in America, we live to work too much. And I shouldn't be saying that because I probably caused myself 2 cancers because I was a workaholic. I caused myself a divorce because my family, I dissolved my first family because I worked too hard thinking basketball was more important than my life. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. It took me until I was 58 years old or maybe 56 years old to figure it out. And I think there's probably at least 20 or 30 people in the room that have the same problem. They could probably tell me they're having the same problem in life. The 4 things I think we need to focus in on from a healthcare standpoint. And a lot of this falls under wellness, but for me, it's preventive and education with nutrition. And then when we do get sick, let's take care of the patient and don't let the system take care of the doctors in the hospitals and the pharmaceutical companies before the patient. That's what I believe. I think it can be done. I think it's a game plan. I don't know the figures, but I think too many times right now, the system doesn't pay attention to the sick person about their mind, their body, and their soul. They take care of the disease. They got a treatment for the disease. They got a drug for the disease. Well, I want you to know, I could have went anywhere in America for my treatment on my head and neck cancer. I stayed in Denver, Colorado, because I met a man by the name of Dr. Andy Nemechek. He works at Swedish. He's not an oncologist. He's not a radiologist. He is a surgeon of cancer patients. His passion for what he did and his 1-hour segment he spent with me gave me the belief that I was going to be okay. Now, the day I made that decision, my partner, Kim, was not really into radiation and chemotherapy. She was not desirous of that. But because of my mind and my relationship to my doctor, who would never, ever work on me, that mind confidence gave me the belief that I was going to be okay. Now, I believe that I had great medical care. I believe that totally and completely. I think my doctors were fantastic. I think my radiologist did his job. I think my oncologist did his job. But along the way, it was my mind and my soulful belief that I was going to be okay that I think helped me cure myself as much as the treatment at hand. And we got to start approaching the patient from that standpoint. And navigation of the patient, when they get sick, when you are told you have cancer, it is a dangerous place. You don't think right. You start thinking crazy thoughts. You think about dying. You think about what your kids are going to do. You think about, what's going to happen in your life. And then you got to try to figure out your treatment. That's where I think the navigation, where the doctors, the hospitals, the pharmaceuticals, the insurance companies, got to come together and help the patient understand his journey. His journey. And I'm not only talking about cancer, I'm talking about that navigation point where you have a serious illness in front of you. And now, I grew up in the era when when you got sick, you trusted the doctor. We now live in the world of the internet. And as soon as you get sick, what do? You go to the internet, you Google up your cancer, and bap, wow, you got all this stats and all this information. And then you go integrative medicine, you go, wow, look at this, we could do it this way. And what it does is it confuses you. You're knocked on you're going, what am I supposed to do? How? Somebody might not need a navigator. But I think as we get further and further into trying to find a healthcare system that works, I believe that navigation and integrative mentality of medicine has got to be evolved into what I call modern Western medicine, where, again, if I had the same neck cancer I had tomorrow, I think I probably would do the same treatment. But I would like to have someone tell me, when I ask my doctors, I asked my oncologist 10 days before I was going into my treatment. Now, what was my choice if I didn't want to do radiation and chemotherapy? And Kim was kind of she was the one that didn't want to really do radiation and chemotherapy. Now, here are two really good doctors. Did not give me a very good answer. Now, I don't know why they didn't give me a good answer. Is it because they're afraid I'm going to sue them? I have no idea why they didn't tell me about alternative situations that I could have proceed, other than they said, well, if you do that stuff, you'll probably come back to us in a worse place. Well, that's pretty self-serving. Then I probably should do chemotherapy and radiation. But I also found out through my process. I went through radiation and chemotherapy. I had burns on my neck. I had rashes all over my face. I had a 6-year-old daughter that looked at me. I had a tube in my stomach. I had a 6-year-old daughter that looked at me like I was a monster. Would cry some nights when I'd tuck her into bed. She was scared. Now, I didn't find out until after my treatment that there is websites and people that have services that help young children understand chemotherapy. I want that presented to every patient that has cancer before he goes through the process. That is navigation of the patient. And there are other situations. I'm very much, one of the things that I'm involved with is progressive healthcare at Swedish. My hope is there will be an integrative medicine mentality, a wellness mentality in every hospital in the state of Colorado within 10 years. Because I think once it gets established, we will find the merits of success. We have basketball players who get hurt all the time. One player who sprains an ankle might just want to put ice on it. The next player who sprains his ankle a week later will want to get an MRI and go to LA to get it examined by another doctor. The next guy that sprains his ankle will just say, screw it, Andre Miller sprains his ankle tonight, he's going to tighten up his shoe and keep playing. What I'm saying is every patient in the world is going to have a different attitude. But I think our society, our American society, should be able to present to the patient his process and his understanding and answer his questions before he goes in the process. An example for me, I did not understand how cancer affects your children, your wife, your partner, your kids, and your friends. Fortunately, I have a lot of people that care about me. Some of them think they're my best friend. They really aren't my best friend. But I had a lot of phone calls and a lot of emails. And I stopped calling them back within like 2 weeks of my treatment. I was done. But there's a Denver blog called mylifeline.org that helped my partner Kim take care of every email, every phone call by blogging every night or every other night or once a week, and they can blog back to you on an internet service. We did not find out about that service until I was about 3 months into the process. Again, partnering up, finding the partners, the powerful partners that are out there in helping your situation is what I want for the cancer patient of Colorado. And so, there's 4 things I think I really believe in at a high level. Prevention and education I've talked about. Nutrition is incredibly important. That's the scary one, as I told you, because I think the food industry is scary. It's scary what we've taken, what we used to eat in the 1970s and what we used to drink in 1970 to what we're eating now. And my only recommendation to you people who think I might be a little crazy is, all I try to do when I eat is eat real food. I try to eat real food. I try to eat peanuts, something that grows in the ground or runs around and we kill the feet. I just try to eat real food. It's not that complicated. It's just like basketball. It's not that complicated. I try to put, the 8 portions of vegetables and fruit and eat real food. And I don't like to eat sugar because sugar is really bad for cancer patients. But I definitely don't want to eat false sugar, superficial sugar, because we don't know what that's doing to our bodies along the way. My treatment, the 2 things about head and neck cancers, 2 that really make me mad, is my voice is not as strong. I can't yell at the players like I used to. And I get dry mouth all the time. And I can live with that. I'll be glad to live with dry mouth and my voice being like this for another 30 years. I'll be happy as hell. The second thing, though, that did make me angry, again, I wish the doctors would have told me this. If I would have done my treatment at a lesser dosage, I would not have lost my taste for wine. Okay? Then, 6 months later, I ran into a person in Boulder that said, if you would have done acupuncture, you could have saved your taste for wine. Now, right now, I have about 300 bottles of the best red wine in the world sitting in my basement. And it makes me very angry some nights after a big win that I can't go down there and pick out one of those Italian wines or one of those Argentina wines and open up and have a big glass of red wine. Those are just little things, and I'm sure all cancer situations and diabetes and stroke all have situations similar to this. And I just think our country with the internet, the information that we have, the knowledge that we have, the fantastic doctors that we have, we can put this together. And I'm trying to say to you, this is a fantastic challenge to you all. It's a challenge to me. I want to be a catalyst for the cancer journey patients of Colorado. I want to be engaged that when someone has what I went through, that I can help them or send them or direct them to get their answers that they need for the questions they want to ask. And I don't know how we do it. Sometimes the bureaucracy of our American culture drives me crazy. I'm with you on the politics. I'm a huge liberal, but I'm tired of Republicans hating Democrats and Democrats hating Republicans and nothing getting done. I just think that's where we're at. I am a fan that we're trying, Obamacare, which is, again, I think it's a start. I don't think it's the right answer, but I think it's a start to where we can find the right answer along the way. I don't know, hopefully it'll be in my lifetime along the way. Before I conclude and answer, open it up, I'm sure you'll have some nugget questions, but also hopefully some healthcare questions. I just think the integrative care mentality is something that, it always bothered me that I could go, when I was going through my treatment, that I could get the most powerful drugs in the world that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars on my insurance company. And I couldn't get a massage. I had to pay for my massage. I had to pay for my acupuncture. This is crazy. This is out of control. This is simple. This is lack of common sense in my mind. And I don't know what company. Progressive Healthcare has a program that you can pay $15 for every employee, and they can go get any type of treatment they want, integrative from meditation, from yoga, for $25 instead. And again, it comes out. It's a win for the people, your employees. It's a win for your company because you don't get higher rates, and it's a win for the people who are going to use it because they're going to be healthier. And I'm sure you have better programs. The program that just was up here sounded like it fantastic. The only thing I would add to that program, by the way, you're not laughing enough. You got to put laughter in there. Laughter, I think, is the greatest. I mean, my daughter and I have a thing that once a day we have to laugh out loud. And sometimes we do it, and again, this water and laughter is probably making me go right now. But, I mean, I try to laugh with my players so much because I'm so mean to them. And like when you're mean to someone a lot, it's hard to tell them you love them. But it's not hard to laugh with them, Like I think now, guys, I let them, I'm kind of grandpa that always leaves stuff on his shirt, and I'm not very neat anymore. And so, 5, 6 years ago, they would laugh at me, and I get mad at them for laughing at me. Now, I try to leave it on my shirt on purpose because I like laughing with them. So I think you got to add laughter to the program a little bit, because I'm a big believer that we really take life a little too serious, and we're a little too intense. I think I'm probably a big example of that. But it's my hope somewhere along the way in my advocacy towards cancer care and health care is that we are a catalyst to change, a catalyst to find the right answers, the catalyst to find the compassionate and caring way being more important than the capitalistic way. In the NBA, so much of a team being successful is their commitment to working together, trusting and believing each other. It is my hope that somewhere along the way that we get the information to the patient that he needs. And I'm talking about, let's have the goal of 100%. Is my belief, my hope that we bring the doctors and the pharmaceuticals and the hospitals and the insurance companies coming together with the researchers and the people who are finding the cures, coming together and sacrificing their territory of money to make the thing work for everybody. And it's going to take some work, because I've been with some insurance companies. I've been with some CEOs of hospitals. They're not the easiest people in the world to say, well, I'll take care of that. The navigation of the patient. The insurance companies say, well, the hospital should take care of that. The hospitals say the pharmaceuticals can help us with that. And what's happening, I honestly think, that somewhere along the way, the government is going to have to help the patient along the way. I don't know those answers. I'm an amateur in that area, but it is my desire that the information, the navigation, and the teamwork of healthcare will come together in the eyes of taking care of the patient. And I still think everybody will get rich. I think everybody's going to have enough money along the way. And, I don't want to bring up those stats because they're kind of ugly along the way. Hopefully I helped you a little bit. Basketball, I've been in the gym since I was 16 years old. And I have a tremendous gift that I get to go to some place that I can play a game and make money and support my family. But the cancer scared the hell out of me. And I see so many people in healthcare and in hospitals that I think we can do a better job with. I think we can do a better job with healthcare. And I know there are a lot of people in this room that have the ability to maybe influence that. So, and again, I say it deeply. I am excited about this challenge more than I am scared, other than the food industry. Don't worry about the food industry. And on that, I thank you for having me, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, we have a few minutes for questions for Coach Karl. Yeah, here. Is Escape Fire out, or when will it be out?
It was on CNN about a week ago. Sue, you know, it's out.
Okay, so it's escapefire.com and online, and you can purchase the DVD. iTunes. Everything's on iTunes. Other questions for Coach?
Can I have a nugget question? Come on, man.
Yeah, Ty Lawson's foot, Gallinaro, come on. Who's going to step up? Chandler?
He's the guy that's going to get the assignment, but our team, for the non-sports fans, we have a lot of good players. And I think Wilson Chandler is going to be the guy that will replace Gallo's minutes. But we need to get Ty back. Ty's foot right now, he probably will not play tonight, for you guys that are betting. But don't bet against us. Let me emphasize, it's the most fun I've had coaching basketball. I mean, I've had guys like World B. Free, Joe Barry Carroll, Sam Cassell, Mello. I've had a lot of weird dudes in my lifetime. And hard guy. This guy, you know, what's fun about this team is, you know, they actually, when I yell at them, they get scared a little bit. Some of them, not all of them, just some of them. It's fun. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And, you know, we do have a Denver Nuggets store. You can burn all that Laker gear. One of my best friends in basketball, my roommate at University of North Carolina, is the general manager of Lakers. And I talked to him at the All-Star break. And I said, Mitch, I know it's been a tough year, but, you know, I'm so happy you're going through one of them because I've gone through a lot more of them than you have. Because, you know, I'm not rooting for the Lakers. In fact, the other day, the Lakers are playing the Clippers, right? And we want the Clippers to lose to get to third place. And I'm rooting for Kobe Bryant. And it made me angry. I was confused. How can I be doing this? That's true, though. I can't do this.
Coach, thank you very much. Let's give him a big hand.
Thanks, Doc.
Good luck tonight with San Antonio. No pressure, but we do need that third seed.
We're going to get the third seed. Thank you.